Okay.
Yeah, so I've started recording. So let's start with where we are right now with the various loan facilities that are available for businesses to utilize for growth and
Okay.
expansion.
Okay. Sorry, 1 minute.
All right.
Can I share my screen?
Yes,
Just
yes.
a header.
Okay. You need permission to share screen then.
Yes, just so people are aware of what we're discussing.
Okay.
So I have a header from PowerPoint. Yeah.
Um, I think you can share screen. You already have that, right?
I can share now. I see share screen, but it's saying I'm not the host.
Okay.
I think I have to be a co-host or something, or you make me the host temporarily.
Okay. Would you try now? Could you try sharing now? Because it looks like I've.
Okay, let me try. Okay, I can share now.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Uh, okay, I'm actually. I hope you can see the screen now.
Yes.
Okay, it's displaying accessing the MSME loans.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I just wanted it to show up since we're having a back and forth conversation so that whoever is joining
Okay.
or watching from wherever we have this, do we have this on Facebook?
No, but it will be
Okay,
posted on Facebook.
okay, no problems. It's all good.
To
I
be.
just I just wanted to be sure that we have it running and of
Okay.
course we can get going so that whoever is listening or watching
Yes.
can understand absolutely what we're discussing about.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
So I think you can, I mean, you probably want to start with introduction and all of that.
Okay. So let me introduce you by uh, being the first guest for today. So if you're listening or watching, I'm speaking with Mr. Emmanuel Otori. Mr. Emmanuel is the CEO and Director of Market Advantage Consulting. He's a professional. He consults for MSMEs, small businesses, medium-sized businesses in the area of accounting, in the area of business development, in the area of loan facilitation, expansion, and product development. And he has diverse of experience. He has worked with as a consultant on projects instituted by the World Bank. He's a published author and with a very wide network in and around the country, uh, includes Abuja. So, Mr. Otori, you're welcome. Um, let's hear from you a little bit about who you are, what you've done, and why we are here today.
Okay, thank you so much, very much. I mean, thank you very much for that robust introduction. Um, I'm pleased to be able to discuss things that has to do with the growth and development of the nation, and most especially when we begin to talk about economic growth, it has majority of efforts concentrated in small businesses because
Yes.
small businesses determines the direction of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why small businesses determines the direction of the economy is that small businesses has the ability to be able to take people off the streets by offering them employment. And the moment you start to employ people, employment, it leads to job creation. Job creation then leads to wealth creation. But then we do know that only MSMEs that have the capacity to take 5, 10 people off the streets and then begin to support them as they give out their labor. And these people can in turn support their families, they can support their dependents. And that's how a nation grows actually. And in these times of high inflation and low revenue from our primary resource, which is fuel, it has become necessary that for Nigeria to be able to really do well when it comes to growth, when it comes to wealth creation, um, that we have to pay attention to the MSME sector and how to empower this MSME sector, but not just limited to how to empower this MSME sector, but also how to make the business environment friendly.
Mm.
And then we have seen different efforts from the government. However, there is still more to do.
Yeah.
And some of the things we're going to be discussing today is how to access the MSME loans, although there are many other factors that leads to the growth and development of a business. But whether you have access to a grant or to a loan, it's a major driver to the growth of a business because when you talk about an idea that you have already conceptualized, at some point in time, you will need resources to be able to take this idea from just an ordinary idea into products or services. Now, no one is an entrepreneur until they have a product or a service to offer. And so, these are the kind of discussions we're going to be having today. I have had the opportunity of working with different government agencies, um, international organizations, when it comes to supporting SMEs with business development, when it comes to building business plans, when it comes to conducting feasibility studies. So majority of my work has had to do with um, business development and management consulting, most especially when it also comes to training, onboarding, and this has a lot to do with employees. So this is a bulk of the things I've done over the past few years, and I think it's really going to be an exciting time for us to learn all that we could possibly learn in order to help whoever is watching, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're an aspiring entrepreneur, or you're an intrapreneur. It's really important that we get to exchange knowledge and learn all that we actually can. It's a growing world um, where skills, resourcefulness, ability to innovate, most especially, is what drives the 21st century. And I'm glad to be on this very podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that introduction. So let's dive right into what we have for today.
Okay.
The first thing we want to look at is what are the options. Now we know we are going towards applying and assessing government-based instruments or loans,
Yes.
but for small, medium scale enterprises,
Yes.
small businesses, the one man business.
Yes.
What are the options they currently have to explore when it comes to finance for their businesses?
Okay. Talking about the opportunities for small businesses to explore when it comes to raising funding. I think we should talk about the challenge that majority of these businesses face when it comes to
Okay.
accessing funding. I think one of the major challenges that these small businesses face is that they do not even have um, enough financial records
Okay.
to tell us that their business is being run properly. The basis for running a business is proper record keeping. Now, if we do not have good financial record keeping structure, it will be hard for any small business to access funding opportunities. So I will take it from the things that has to be done in-house by these small businesses before even talking about seeking for a grant or for a loan or for whatever form of facility. So, and the reason why we also tend to train people in accounting tools at my firm, we support MSMEs to deploy tools like Sage 50, like QuickBooks, like the design of Microsoft Excel for organizations that cannot afford QuickBooks or Sage 50. The reason is because it will help the monitoring, the proper monitoring of your finances, most especially as it has to do with cash flow and as it has to do with income and expenditure. So these things are very important because if anyone is going to access a funding opportunity, it's necessary that the donor or the investor ask for a financial proposal. And a financial proposal usually consists of your profit and loss account, your balance sheet, and your cash flow. If you don't have these financial statements, you cannot access whether grant or loan opportunities. So it's necessary. But so what are the instruments that people who own MSMEs can use to get funding? Of course, we already know about the cooperative. Cooperative is one robust organization that brings in a group of people with common interests. Interest could be that they want to finance a project. Interest could be that they want to expand. So I think a cooperative society still holds room um, to be able to plug into that pool and take part of the contributions that has been made by majority of the people in that pool, and then you begin to make returns, whether on a weekly basis, whether on a daily basis, or on a monthly basis. Now, the truth is that while the cooperative system is also useful, it also makes you very accountable because as you return back the funding, there are other people waiting for it to be able to use it the same way you collected and utilized it. So I believe the cooperative system is very accountable and also very, it makes the person who has taken the funding responsible. And also, there is everyone in the cooperative society is aware of what's happening. They're aware of when money has been contributed, who is being given out to, who is next to take, and then you have a timeline for repayment. And I think it's a really good system if MSMEs should employ this. Secondly, you also want to talk to your family and friends. Family and friends are actually the first I think we should talk to before even seeking out to collect a loan. If you have a family member or a friend who can support you with some really good level of income or level of funding, I think you should take that because there are stringent measures when it comes to repayment of loans. And it might not be easy that as you take a loan, you are able to return it. So I think the stress will have reduced if you have family and friends that you trust, and then you can draft some simple agreements to take some funding from them and return it within a stipulated period. So these are the things that I think would work. However, what we have ongoing today is also government interventions. There are as many as possible government interventions. Anchors Borrowers Program, the AGMIS Fund, the funds for the pharmaceutical industries, the funds for the dairy industry, the fund for the textile industry, the fund for the creative industry, those that do movies, acting, and all of that. So there are many, many funds as interventions from the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it's being deployed by Nisal Microfinance Bank, which is a microfinance bank that's owned by the government. So all of these opportunities can actually be accessed. I believe that as we go on in this conversation, we can then talk about what are the requirements that MSMEs need I, Mr. Boyo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I was done with the first part.
Yes.
So,
So I was a bit off for a minute. There was an interruption on my service.
okay,
Okay, so you want to say something? That's someone that wants to.
okay,
Uh, we have Odinaka AK on the call. Yeah. So go ahead. Your audio, you can join with audio so you hear us clearly. There's an audio button at the bottom left of your Zoom application. Just tap on that button. Looks like a mic. Tap on that button so that you can join. Click on join with internet so that you can join and hear us, because we would also like to hear your feedback because of the meeting. So, Otori, I wanted you to talk about some of these funds. So let's channel some of these funds. Let's talk about these funds in terms of uh, the particular kind of fund. So let's have like a breakdown. You mentioned some of them, the admins, the one for the pharmaceutical industry, and we have in Open Hub, which is for professionals and businesses where they meet. We have different people who want to do different things. So just give a rough idea or explanation what some of these funds are and what we can do to assess them. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. I was trying
Okay,
to unmute my microphone. So
okay,
majority of these fundings, they have majority of this funding has requirements, and the requirements cuts across boards. Um, Whichever funding you want to access, one of the things that I know that you need is that your organization has to be registered as a corporate entity by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Um, you cannot want to seek for a grant or for a loan without operating as a corporate entity. So I enjoin people who are running businesses and at this point in time do not have the organizations registered to reach out to ensure that their organizations are registered. When your organization gets registered, it helps you to be able to have a bank account. You can open a corporate account, and this brings about financial inclusion. It also makes you to get serious about business. Most people are not going to send funding into your personal account because they don't trust the business. But then when you show people that you are registered, you have a corporate account, and they see that you have a corporate account, they can easily want to make transactions with you. Now, having talked about the requirements that we have to do, which is register your company. It could be an enterprise. It could also be a limited liability company. Now, aside from this, it's necessary that you have a business plan. A business plan is a document that tells an investor or a donor or a funder all that your business is all about. Now, there are about 5 different areas in a business plan. You have the executive summary, broad areas actually, 5 different broad areas. You have information about the products. You have information about either the products or services. You have information about the operations. You have information about the management of the organization, talking about your team. You have information about your marketing, your sales and marketing. Then you have information about the finance. What is it going to cost to start this business? Or what is it going to cost to expand this business? Or what is it going to cost to do whatever project you want to embark on? Is it increase in the capacity of the products you're manufacturing? Or you want to acquire new machines? Or you want to hire new staff? So finances is where you talk about all of that. Under finances also, you can get to talk about the risks that a business might face. So these are the basic requirements that one actually needs to be able to access this funding. Although there is a compulsory training that's been made by the Central Bank of Nigeria, that for you to be able to access any of these loans, you need to have been trained by a business development service provider, that has been licensed. Not all business development service providers are licensed, but there are business development service providers that are licensed, and we know some of them that are government. We know SMIDAN, we know the Abuja Enterprise Agency. SMIDAN has offices all across. The Abuja Enterprise Agency is in Abuja. Um, there are other agencies that are also doing well. If you go through the Nisal Microfinance Bank website, you will find out that there are other agencies in different states. So it then becomes very important for us to undergo this training. We undergo the training, we get certification, and then we package our business plan, um, our registrations, and some other personal details, and submit these details on the NISAL portal. On the NISAL portal, there are different interventions, and then you get to choose what you want and begin to apply since you already have all these documents and the certificate from the training. And so these are the requirements that applies to seeking a loan when it comes to government-enabled interventions. So this is the way to go.
Okay, so now I believe those that are listening would have been able to itemize some of these requirements. Now, these requirements, they are not bogus. They are something that if you cannot, that's why we have professionals in Open Hub. People like Emmanuel Otori, they don't only dish out the advice you need, they also give you the support. So what that means is you can reach out to them at any point in time, knowing that they are professionals in what they do. They could give you a support or a framework that you require to move your business forward. So, Otori, before we move forward, I'd also like you to uh, give us like a breakdown, a list of some of these funds, right? And then let's hear from you a list of some of the funds, and then we can now talk more about the application process proper. You're on mute.
Okay, like I had mentioned earlier, the general platform that's acceptable and that's been made available by Central Bank of Nigeria is the Nisal Microfinance Bank's website. When you visit this website, you will see different categories of interventions. You will see interventions for the household. You will see interventions for COVID-19. You will see interventions for SMEs, and then you will see interventions for corporate organizations. So whatever interventions we're going to access or anyone is going to access has to be done through NISAL's website. And it's pretty simple. It might take a bit of time for you to be able to answer the questions over there. And that's the reason why professionals are needed to make the support available to ensure that you meet the minimum requirements of what has to be done, most especially in a technical part and in the financial aspect. So, but a person with some really great knowledge about how their business works can also apply by themselves. But you then need to have undergone a training on these interventions from a licensed practitioner. Um, yes.
So how much are we looking at? How much are we looking at here in terms of the amount on the loans, and what are some of the payback conditions for these loans?
Okay. Um, Majority of these loans, um, for example, looking at the COVID-19 loan again, the portal has been open. You can access about 2.5 million, and you can pay back this loan before 2024. I don't know if they have expanded the time frame now, but then this is a loan that you can start paying after 1 year. It's called moratorium. When you take the loan, you don't start paying immediately. It's to ensure that you can settle and make some money with the loan, and you only start paying after 1 year. There are funding also in a range of 10 million naira, and repayment period is within the period of 7 years. And it's really also great that the interest rate is not that high. Interest rate goes between 9, 10%, 9, 10%, which is quite flexible. So I think there is the survival fund also. The survival fund is a grant, it's not a loan, but then the survival fund does not come to you. All the other forms of interventions comes to you. You apply as a company, you get the funding, but then The survival fund goes to your staff, because what the survival fund aims to do is to support the payment of salary to the people that you employ. So payment will be done directly into the accounts of those that you have used their names as your staff to apply under your company. And the maximum that you can get from the survival fund is 50,000 naira per month for a period of 3 months for 10 staff. So if the maximum number of staff you can have is 10, the maximum amount you can get is 50K. So for a person that has 10 staff, and that will be 150,000 naira per month. Um, if you have if you have 10 staff, each one of them can only access um,
150K.
one person can only access 150K in 3 months. One person
Yes,
will be paid
yes,
50K the first month, 50K the second month, 50K the third month.
absolutely.
So 150,000 naira for 10 staff in 3 months, I think is about
Yeah,
1.5 million.
yes.
So the maximum anyone can access is about 1.5 million. And some people get paid 30,000 naira, some people get paid 40 something. And so that's about the survival fund. So as this intervention keeps coming, one of the things I've seen as very useful to talk about is that the ability to be able to apply as soon as these portals are open, because thousands of people are applying from all over the world, all over Nigeria actually. Now, the reason why people do not
Yes.
easily get these interventions is they do not trust the process. They think it's not going to work. They think it's not genuine. They think funds will not be released. However, these things are actually really working. And especially right now, it works for different industries. But then you know that these days priorities are paid towards the food industry, people in agri, whether plants or animal, people who are involved in manufacturing things like pure water, anything that has to do with daily needs, things that has to do with ICT, things that has to do with fashion, things that has to do with fish farming. All of these areas are very lucrative. Although other areas can get
Yeah.
funding, but the ones that easily get funded are the ones we're talking about now. Things like daily
Okay.
needs. So it's really very important to focus on whatever we're doing and take advantage of these opportunities as early as possible in order to be able to access the funding before the deadlines.
Okay, so if someone is to apply, now let's get into the nitty gritty. Now you already mentioned that people may have hesitation to do this application because they are scared they won't have the funds. But you have allayed their fears. You have let them know that this thing is possible. You could actually get the funding if you do the right thing in the course of your application, and you don't have to do it alone. So that is part of the thing we're preaching right now on Open Hub. Most of the things that people do and get wrong and don't succeed at it is because they don't seek the expertise they require. So first thing first, if you're listening to this video, you're watching this from wherever platform, make sure you get into Open Hub, you get to the WhatsApp group, and communicate with the professionals there and ask for help. Okay. Now, if you ask for help, they can actually proceed to partner with your business to give you the support you need so that you can have access to these loans. So uh, go right there into the group and engage. Okay. So, Mr. Otori, just walk us finally, because we have barely 10 minutes and we're done with this meeting. Can you just give us a walkthrough on what happens when you go to NISA's website or the COVID support website to apply for these loans? You have stated in the preamble that most businesses don't do what they need to do. That requires discipline. So I speak to, if you're listening or watching, do what you need to do. Keep your books right. Make sure you are keeping details, especially your bank account for your business. You record sales and expenses so that you can easily track some of these things. So, can you do a walkthrough in the next 5 minutes on how these applications can be done successfully?
Okay, these applications actually requires a lot of writing. It requires a lot of thinking. It requires a lot of numbers. If you're accessing the site for the first time, there are questions that might be new to you. However, as a business development service provider at Market Advantage Consulting, one of the things that we get to do is we already have all these questions on the ground. So whenever people reach out to us because they need us to assist them to apply for these um, funding opportunities, we attach a professional to them, a professional who's been helping people that works with our organization. And this professional then takes all the details that's needed from this person and is able to put it together for them. And we ensure that within a week, we are done with your application. And you can then hold on and wait to hear from um, NISAL. If you've been selected, you're going to get messages via text. They're going to communicate with you and invite you for an interview. Now, when you get invited for an interview, that's where you get to answer basic questions of what kind of business you do, and then you also get to fill some simple forms. And afterwards, if you scale through the interview process, you will then get funding. By then, you would have filled your account details of where you want the funding to be placed, and of course, all the other things that they probably did not know about you in the application. So these are actually the stages and processes, but then it has a lot to do with numbers, like how much is your profit, how much is your operating expenses, how much are all your expenditures, how much do you pay your staff, how much. So I mean, there are lots of questions that has to be answered, and that's why for people who are very busy and do not have the time, we ask that you ask for help, seek for help from a consulting firm like ours to be able to help you put your business plan together, and as well your financial statements, and also help you in applying for these funding opportunities. And not just these funding opportunities, whatever business plan is put together for you, you can eventually use this business plan to also apply for some other funding opportunities. It doesn't have to be just one funding opportunity. So you can look at for other funding opportunities and use it to apply. So it goes a very long way, whether you're applying for a fund or not, that you have a business plan. A business plan gives direction to your business. It's also necessary to have a financial statement. How do you generate your financial statement? By ensuring that an organization like ours can deploy technological tools like the accounting softwares, QuickBooks, or Sage 50, or even for Microsoft Excel to be designed for you to take in your accounting processes. So at the end of the day, you know how much you are making as revenue, how much you're giving out as expenses, and how much you have left as profits. So these are the basic things that I think organizations should do, not necessarily because they want to access a funding opportunity, but because they want to have a growing and thriving business.
So thank you very much. We can now round up our session. I'm really excited about this opportunity because I know the portals are open right now. And
Yes.
anyone who wants to utilize the opportunity, don't let this opportunity pass you by. As a member of Open Hub, you have all the professionals you need to get your business from the idea stage. Probably you're thinking right now, from the idea stage to the application stage, and then to you getting the funds, because we want to help you and see that your business moves forward. So get right into the group, ask questions, connect to the professional, and ensure you get access to some of these loans. The government has already made provisions for you and I, or you as a business person, to have access to the loan. So, Mr. Otori, I want to say thank you one more time. How can people reach you in Market Advantage? Can you just share how they can reach you so that going forward in the future they can have direct access to you?
Okay. I mean, if you look at the screen, you will see the website. You will see the phone number. That's a direct number to be able to talk to me. That's one of the things we've been able to do for those in Open Hub, direct access. Whether
Yes.
you're looking for business registration, you want to register your business, you want to have a business plan, you want to have a financial statement, you're starting a new business, you want to do market research or feasibility study. These are all the things we can do. You want to deploy technological accounting tools to take records of all your sales. These are all the things we do. So if I urge you to look at your screen again and see the website, see the phone number, which is also WhatsApp enabled, and then reach out for us to be able to help you provide the interventions that we already know how to do. I think, as a matter of fact, I've been able to consult for over 100 organizations in different sectors: oil and gas, agri, fashion, ICT, manufacturing. So I think the experience will be useful to help businesses that are trying to become sustainable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, everyone,
Thank you once
very
again.
wonderful weekend to you all. Make sure you request for the video. This video will be available, I think, as a WhatsApp group. We'll try to post it there. We'll also try to share the links to the Facebook group and on the Facebook page, and also our own individual business pages. So we encourage you. In our next session, we'll probably bring up a new speaker, professional, to help your business, because the main aim of Open Hub is kind of like an open system where you come in to have services. So service first. We are not shy to give you our expertise. We're not shy to let you know what you can do to move your business forward. Uh, and then any other thing can follow. So I wish you all the best, guys. Do have a very wonderful weekend ahead. If you have any questions, please share it in the group. Mr. AK, you can share your questions in the group, and we are there willing to answer you. Once again, I want to say thank you to my guest, Mr. Emmanuel Otori, business consultant with Market Advantage in Abuja, Nigeria. And he's also a very versatile business strategist. So anytime you can contact him in the WhatsApp group, chat him up, and he'll be willing to answer your questions. So thank you, guys. Do have a
Thank you very much.
yeah, do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye.